Okay guys, welcome to the channel. Just thought I'd do a couple of repairs today. So we've got a TRISTAR and for an iPhone 6, and we have an audio IC for an iPhone 7. So I've just found out that by doing the way I check TRISTAR, that this has got a TRISTAR problem. The phone's not charging, and it's also not connecting to iTunes. The best way to do that is to take out the battery and put a new charge port in. And if you get something on the amp meter, if you get nothing on the amp meter, you know it's TRISTAR straight away. So that's the way I check this. So yeah, just pulling apart the phone. And then I'll get into it. The bit that nobody likes to do, pull the phone apart. I just did an iPhone 5C TRISTAR, which I haven't done for a while. That was quite fun. It's always good to do different stuff. Otherwise you get bored doing the same. I did an iPhone 7. If you go onto my Instagram account, Fixing Things For You, I did an iPhone 7 baseband 4013. It had a 4013 and nothing was shorted, so I thought I'd give the baseband a go. Now that repair is really tricky, and it's very heavily underfilled. It's also right next to the CPU, so you need to take a lot of care when doing that repair. And it also has a lot of pads that you can pull. So I did that, and I got that working, so that was good. So I'm just about to pull the board out. So this is a pretty routine repair now. So we've got our board out. We can look under the microscope. So I'll put you over to the microscope and show you how I do it, for those who haven't seen it before. So I'll just lift up the little antenna here. We'll turn that brightness up a little tiny bit. And we'll go up to about doesn't really matter, about 350. And then I sort of grab my tweezers here in the back end of it. So I'll show you under here. So I grab it in this part. Right here, like that. So I'll grab it in there, and then I'll just lift it up off the board and watch the bracket drop. I've been doing this for a long time now, and it definitely is the easiest way to do it. I don't think I ever took the bracket off by just I think I experimented with this first, and it worked. I don't think I've ever taken the bracket off on the device or anything like that. So the bracket's off, as you can see. Nothing's disturbed. So we'll get our board holder. Line it up, and we'll pop a coin over the NAND. We'll straighten it up. So I bring it down to about 200 here, and I just come in like this while it's still hot and just scratch away this. Normally I'll just lift this off just so I can remember which way the chip goes. You don't need to though. So dots up there. I'll get my little CPU scraper tool. This is really soft, so no need to be aggressive with it. And when you do it, sort of come next to the chip, because the chip's going in the bin anyway. That's about it. And then we'll grab our, not our good one, our old one. The old one? No, that's the new one. That was the old one. So we get out, grab our nice little scalpel. So I'll put our coin over to there. That's it. And then we'll watch the magic. We'll come under here. And just put it in the end here to see feel for it. Like that. Bang. Off it goes. And turn our iron on. And just tap these pads. Tap them down. That's it, like that. Keep it clean. Grab a TRISTAR out. Plenty of TRISTARs. The old one just went flying. And we'll pop a bit of flux down. So what I do is I just I pop it down on top of it and then give it the heat, take it away, and then flow it back on. Now I'll just give it a little bit of flux, just to help it out like that. Wait for it to cool down. And then I'll just test it before I put the back on. Okay. Let's just see if it boots up. We'll grab a 6 dock. Six dock here. So I'll plug our dock into the phone. And we'll grab our amp meter, which is here. See if I can swing this up your way. You can see it. This is a pretty cool amp meter. So if you can see if I put that down like that. Look at that big screen. So we plug it in here. We should, into the phone now, we should get voltage. And we do. So that should be reading about 0.9, which is upside down. Let's have a look. See if we can straighten that out for you. There you go. 0.9, and then it should go to 15 when it boots the screen. There you go, 15. So we now TriStar's working now. So we can put the phone back together and then see if it charges the phone, which it should do. So get the dock away. So I pretty much put these brackets back on the same way as I took them off. So I'll line the front with the back. And then I grab my tweezers. Place them in the middle like this. And you don't need to go too hot. And just go around the outside. Okay. Keep it pressed down. I can't zoom out any further, unfortunately. And move it around, I suppose. Just be careful when you're heating this area that you don't heat the NAND too much, otherwise you'll have to do the NAND and that will be a pain. So, turn the fume extractor off so you can't hear that. Alright. And then if we look at it, looks pretty good. It's nice. We'll put our connector, we'll put our antenna back. Okay. Put the phone back together. I always put the SIM card tray in first, just so everything lines up nicely. I think the screw is missing out of the top of that. I'll be able to find a screw to put back in there. Let's have a look. 6 pile. See what this one fits. It's a bit long. It's not the right. Will it work? Oh, it will work. Look at that. Oh, no, it's slightly too small. We have a million screws here to choose from. That one might be the very one. Or is that too small as well? Too small. That's the one. Okay, we'll put our little GPS antenna back. Okay, that must have been for the bottom. Always get those two mixed up. Actually, which one's which? Yeah. Oh, whoopsie daisy. That one's for the bottom. Maybe I did have the right screw. I think I did have the right screw. I thought that one just came out. Maybe I was too busy talking. It can happen. Yep. pop that back then. Forever screwing. Okay, so we are up to, we're nearly done. This one here you can sort of get away with using a Phillips, and then I come in afterwards and just finish it off with the correct driver. Actually broken the tip of mine, so I have to get another one. That's it. Don't forget that camera screw for the RF. I think it's for RF. Okay, so we need our antenna here. Everything's looking good. We'll put our screen on. Don't put your screws in the wrong hole, otherwise you'll get long screw damage. And then you might have problems where your phone will randomly do stuff. Usually not power on or get past an Apple logo, but you might have to send it to Jason from STS. I know he likes doing third layer long screws. Says he doesn't, but I think he does secretly. Don't you, Jason? Okay, so all our screws are in. Let's get the battery one now. Always battery last, battery first, and battery last. For some reason when I get phones sent to me, I always get ones with, they either come with one pentalope or none. So I'm assuming people have been into them already. So I've got one on this phone. Half the time they don't even know this one works. Didn't work. Alright, so we'll grab our meter again and our lead. And you should see a charge icon. There you go. So we're charging. Oh, look, we're turning on now. And if we look at our amp meter, we are pulling either the battery's crook, which I'd say, oh no, here it comes, 1 amp. It's probably been deflated for a while. It's pulling an amp, perfect, which is what you want. And we've got our iPhone charging. Alright, so that one's done. So let's have a look at the audio IC. Well, it's actually got 100% battery. So battery's actually full. That's probably why. So So let's turn that off. And put that aside. And now we'll look at doing an audio IC. Have a bit of a cleanup. Audio IC. So let's have a look. So we've got our iPhone 7 here. So if I can get rid of that focus camera business. Camera Logitech, that's it. Autofocus does it by default. So at the moment I can feel that pushing, but we've got nothing. So the home button works because you can feel it. It's vibrating. We'll just leave it, and you'll be able to see this iPhone 7 having an audio problem. It should boot up. It just takes a while. If it's got a password. I might start taking it apart and still show you that. Looks like a genuine screen, so we're probably going to have to heat it to get it off. A little bit of light heat there around the edges. Don't go crazy on the heat. It's unnecessary. And when you come in with these, so you don't damage the home button, just come in. If you come in here on this side of the home button, that's where the home button IC is. So if you come at the end here, just with a little tool like this, come in here and this one's really down. Come in like that, just put it in a little tiny bit, and then get yourself a pick like that to remove the tool, a vicious tool, and then just use the corner of the pick to go around, and it should still be hot from when you just released it. I should actually do a little demo of taking the button off as well to show Paul Daniels how hard it is. It's not that hard. So he can start doing them, servicing them over and miles away. We're at the other side of Australia. Because he's worried about breaking them. Now this top section here, it's always tricky just because there's so much adhesive, so we're just going to heat it. Just a little bit of heat again. Get your pick. I love my picks. And then come in through the top. You can't really hurt anything because it's just the way the screen is. And then come down at the same time. And there it comes. So it's just got the little ridge on the top there. There you go. You can see it, we pulled it apart. So there you go, it's pulled apart like a book. Oh, there we go, just turned on. So if we go to our audio, we should be blanked out, and there it is. Look, Doesn't work. No audio for you, little phone. So let's do it. Let's pull it apart and fix it. This is another iPhone that's becoming quite popular. These 7s and 7 pluses. So if you do this repair, let's go. You're going to need the special tri-wing screwdriver. So I got these screws here. That's a funny looking screw. So we'll pull this down. So it's like a little L shape bracket. And first, what's the rule we first follow? The rule is we disconnect battery. Always disconnect the battery. Now with the 7s, I come in from the bottom. Don't damage anything. Like that. Pull that aside. That down a fraction. The 7 pluses have the tri-wing at the top, 3 screws, but the 7 have just Phillips. No idea why. I don't think Apple can make their mind up on that. And grab the bracket. Okay. Now that there is the strobe IC. I had to repair one of those. They were pulled off someone's board. I think someone thought when they were doing a screen replacement that it was a bracket or something, so they ripped it off. Anyway, so the best way to get these out, these connectors out, is just grab the end of it like that, and pull straight up. And you watch this, just pop straight up. There you go, done. No damage to the connector or the flex cable, and it's done. And that's the screen. So now I will take out the SIM tray. Now these have got the different SIM tray on it, like the Samsungs. We got a little pin there, and if you don't watch out that pin, you can lose that pin, and then their SIM tray won't work. But it only comes out if you're not careful. That's your charge flex. There's your little antennas. So I'll remove those. 1, 2. Grab those, put them aside. Okay, so we've got some screws here. We've got our camera flex at the top, which we'll have to remove. 1, 2. Okay, and let's go to town on the screws. So we've got a screw under here, which you can't see, that screw there. So he needs to come out. Don't be fooled by that. Some people go to rip that out. And then so we have Phillips over here, and now we got tri-wings over here. Like, really? Really, Apple? What are you playing at? Just put Phillips and everything. Why put tri-wings? Is it like we just want to make your life hard? Well, you get to know it. To me, it's kind of like a speed camera when they put it somewhere. A speed camera that's always, they've made a permanent one. You get to know that it's always there, so you always slow down for it. It's the same with this. Like, you get to know they're there, so you just go straight for the screwdriver. But when you're first doing it, you're like, why? What's the deal with that? Like, why are we doing that for? And it's quite frustrating. So what I do is this little bracket here, I just remove all those screws, and then I'll remove this one just a little bit, and then I'll flip it up and over. Come on, don't be silly. That's it, like that. So, and then just give it a little do up so it's not tight, and grab that screw out, and it's nearly the last. That's the last one at the top there. So down the bottom here, we've got the two star-shaped. I don't know what you call them. No, they're not star-shaped. They're like a big Phillips, aren't they? So that's one. You have to be careful with the 7 Plus. I'll tell you why. Because I've seen a few that I've repaired that in here, which you can't see. In here, there's a couple of little ICs from memory, or they're about something like that. Little glass ones, diodes, or whatever they are. I think they're a glass diode, and they just break so easy. All right, so that's it. I'm pretty sure. So actually, there's one more. That's that one at the top there. There is another one. This one here. So that's the top one. Now that should be it. Nope. There's one more. Why? Whenever you do a video, it's always the way. Oh well. Them's the breaks. So that's that one. Okay, now that's definitely it. Okay, so that's the side. So we got our motherboard out. So we're just going to give the sticker a bit of a heat. Now it's the back sticker, and it's near the SIM reader, near the NAND. So it's this one here. And there's a little bit more. Tell you what, that was the best buy I've ever bought. That little heat gun. It's an XUI, cheap, and it was about $20 from Bunnings, and it's done so much work. I think I had it back in the Xbox 360 reboiling days. Okay, so let's have a look. So there's our audio IC. So I just put the sticker sort of like to there. So I leave a little bit there, but have that over there. Now, make sure you cover. Where's my other 10-cent piece? There it is. Make sure you cover both sides, the NAND side. So I need to bring this out a bit further. The NAND, cover the NAND and the audio and the PMIC side. Okay, just like that. Because if you don't and you use too much heat, you'll kill things. Now, the next thing is don't use too much heat. A, it's not necessary. And B, buy a baseband on the other side. So the baseband is located on the other side of this board here. So what you've got to do is get this off without causing any problems with the baseband. So the easiest way, best way, is to get some flux under there. not too much like that, and you can't see, and it's all fuzzy. Just enough. Shall I go with these or shall I go with the others? The other ones are better. Now get it to flow so it moves a little bit. So you're able to move it. So I might use those other ones. Pick it up nice sideways. Put my air a little bit up. Oh, it's a bit low. Like that. Let it cool down. Don't touch it. Because, you just don't want any dramas. I tell you, you just don't want to cause yourself any dramas. Like, it's just not worth it. You know, you want to rush in and do it and fix it, but honestly, it's just not worth it. You will give yourself a headache if you rush it and you start pulling pads or anything like that. So what I'm doing now is I'm just dragging it along. I'm not even removing the lead free. Watch the capacitors, because I tend to pick up and add to the capacitors sometimes. Okay, we've lost the pad somewhere, which is at the top right, which is normal. So you can see at the top right, but that's an NC pad, and usually it always comes off. Let it cool down. Looks like a giant mess at the moment, but it won't in a minute. Get our flux. Get our alcohol. My board's come loose. I'll probably come in a bit closer. So we'll get our little scraper tool, and we'll just run the jumper that we need to run, which is this pad here. Can you see? Oh, she's hot still. So like that. Seeing if that's too high or not, that pad there. Should be alright. Okay, so let's get our solder in our flux. I've just got to change tips for this one. So it's, even though that's a small tip, I need it to be smaller. This is a 0.02 tip. Turn up our brightness a bit. Okay, so we'll grab a wire. I love running micro jumpers. They're so much fun. That side, or is it that side that I've done? Neither have done. Okay, so let's just tin that up a bit. Last night I was tinning the jumpers on the CPU, on the iPhone 7 CPU. I was using it as a base to tin the jumpers. So just basically do this. Can't really do it down there because there's heaps of places we could get in trouble with the pads. Okay. I'm right on the edge here of my mat, and it's annoying. I might come across. Where is the end of that? It's like hidden. There it is. Okay. Now, if I can grab him, which I can. There we go. That'll do. That's a good enough joint. Cut that off. Okay. And then we'll clean it and have a look. So there you go. So you can see there, it's a nice solid joint. The object of this is to come in and do as less damage as we can, so everything looks as it should do, which everything looks pretty good there. So it's like factory. Get our UV glue. I don't know why I bought 3 tubs of this. I've had this one for the last couple of years, or year and a bit, and it's still got plenty left. You don't need it any more than one, I reckon, throughout your lifetime maybe. Unless you're doing big ICs or something like that. Okay. A little tiny bit more. Just trying to get the littlest bit on my... That's better. Did that get it? Nope. So hard to get the littlest amount on here. That's better. Now we're talking. Nope. Put that over like that. Now I'll whack that in the big ultraviolet light. I've got a nail polish one that I use. Finish it off. Dry it properly. Alright, that's that. So we'll pop that in under there. Except for the 10-cent coins. Slide it down. And then we'll reball this chip. Stick it on. Could almost stick that chip back on. Almost. Not quite. Okay, I'm going to change back to this tip. I really like this tip. Okay, don't play with it too much. Just like your mum said when you were younger, don't play with it too much. Still don't play with it too much. I know it's tempting. I've got to get that flux off though. It's got to be clean. Let's just do it this way. Is there a ball on there? What's that? Didn't I not get that ball off? Oh my god, I didn't. Okay, so now we're just going to reball this. and we should be able to stick it back on. We go for our stencil. Oh no, I've used this one before. Why don't I clean my stencils? I think I used the stencil for the baseband part of it. I'm not sure. It might have been it looks like it's still got solder in it. So we're going to go in here like this. So now we just add a bit more flux to it. Just make sure our orientation is the right way. So it's this way. Okay, the coin's back on. You can set it a bit lower now because you've dropped the temperature from reballing it with the lead-free solder. So we're just going to seat this on. So I've got it at 325 at the moment. Going to add a little bit of flux now. As soon as we see it move, that's it. We pull away. Don't keep the heat. Oh, that's burning. Don't keep the heat there for too long. So that looks good. Just wait for it. You don't want to go in too quick with the heat. Sorry, you don't want to go in too quick with the alcohol, especially if something's really hot. Sort of now's alright. Okay, that's where I come in with my toothbrush now. Put low heat. I'll do a clean up. While it's hot, put your sticker back on. Now, I'm not going to edit any of this video because I want you guys to see exactly how this is done. So let's put it back in the housing. Okay, SIM card in first. Holds it in the right spot. Especially with the 7, because I noticed that it's actually it's got a little spot there which it doesn't, like the other ones sit in nicely with the SIM tray. For this one, if you put in the screws first, it doesn't locate it exactly right, which is kind of weird. So we've got some of that waterproofing here, which has got to come up like that. Pop that down like that, and the antennas on. Get our battery ready. Alright, let's put our screws in. Now, I've done this repair like so many times, so I'm not scared of putting this back together and having this and having no problems, because I've done it so many times, and every time I do it the same way. So cross fingers, we should be good. Oh, that goes in there, doesn't it? Of course it does. So that's that screw that goes in there. Okay, let's put this one in. And this has got those silly tri-wings. So they made the iPhone so cheap looking by using that bracket there. It doesn't even, it just covers, it just pushes down on that enough, and it doesn't, I don't know, the earlier models, they look like they gave a hoot about it, but these ones they don't. Anyway, we'll grab our screen, which we'll grab this one first. That's it, I'll put that in first. And these ones are the Phillips. And then we'll put in our touch and our LCD. Our L bracket, last one to go. I put all these in loosely, and then I push it to the top, just so it gives the touch IC room to move into place, especially if you do a screen replacement. Oh my god, when I first started doing screen replacements, I was like, why won't the screen fit? And then realised that the touch IC is hitting the bracket. And sometimes they, I've seen people actually leave the bracket out because they couldn't get it in, which is a bit silly. Alright. Just 2 screws back in. Push the power button now. So the power's back on. Got our Apple logo. So we'll see how long it takes now. It's already in. There you go, look at that. It's already see the difference in the boot time. Bang bang, done. Alright, so we'll just test the audio and then I'll be on to the next job. I think I'll just stop that here so I can have my coffee. So here we go, no more laggy touch, and we've got our icon back. 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4 5. And there you go. 1 2 3 4 5. Done. That's it. Simple as. So thanks for watching, guys, and like the stream if you like the video if you like it, and if you don't, leave a comment why. If you do like it, leave a comment why. Let me know if you want to see more unedited videos. This is just straight out 2 repairs in a row, and I'll see you in the next video, and subscribe here. See you guys.